Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into episode 21. Today is Trump trying to turn this around? We actually have an update. So just to get right into it, kind of a slow news week, but this was kind of a big deal, I think. So word through the grapevine is he sent Ratcliffe to Moscow to meet with Putin and them, and possibly ending this Ukraine war. I think maybe Trump is listening and he's actually figuring out we're not playing, that we're not in a cult, that we will follow him if he's doing the right thing, but if we feel he's doing the bad thing, then we will say it out loud and say something. He's not. I think he forgets he's not dealing with the Democrat Party. He's dealing with the real people of this country who truly want things to be what they were supposed to be, and that he's not dealing with a bunch of go along to get along, you know, people. We were never that. I think he's starting to understand we backed him because he said things and then he did the things you know, that he said. And that the minute he stopped doing that, then we were going to call him out. I was always a Trump supporter, but I always said only if he's doing the right thing. I never said I would back a person 100% no matter what. And I think he's starting to realize that we were not playing games, that we meant what we said, and that we will no problem follow him and stick up for him as long as he's doing what he said he would do. And this is a step in the right direction. So I'm giving kudos to that. This is definitely a step in the right direction. Now, if we can just end this Iran war, we could get back to America first. We can get back to the agenda. And the agenda was deportations, stopping the left wing party of this country from utterly destroying us and taking us over, bringing the economy back. Now, I don't blame Trump as much as everybody else for the economy because he's not the businessman of every one of these companies. Like the meat department, the meat that's gone up, the gas that's gone up. He doesn't own Gazprom, and I think that's who runs the gas. He doesn't own the meat packing facilities. He doesn't own the cows and the farms. But what he can do is ease pressure off of them and have meetings with them and see why prices are going up and what can we do to bring that down. So I don't as much blame Trump for gas prices and food prices as much as everybody else does, because I do know that he doesn't really control any of that. But what he can do, and I'm not 100 on this, I'd like to do a little more research, is if this Iran war is what's making things go up, then maybe we can talk about ending this and then discuss how to bring those prices back down a little. The problem with it is a lot of these places get comfortable with making this money and they themselves don't like to bring it back down. Let's say you go from making $1 million, now you're going to making 2 to 3. It's greed, and it might be cost too. I don't 100% know. This is just based off an opinion and a little bit of research I have done. I don't know how much their cost has gone up to package and produce, these certain items. I know I used to be a meat cutter, a butcher, and I watched the prices of like ribeyes and strip steaks go way through the roof. I remember because we'd cut it and package it ourselves and label it, So I was watching it like one day it went from it was 12.99 for a New York strip, and then like I think 13, 14.99. Ribeyes have always been a little more expensive, and then the next day ribeyes shot up to $19 a pound, and strips shot up to like $16 a pound. So, and like what changed? You know what I mean? So we don't get told what changed between the farmer to us. We just get told the price has changed and you got to change the price. So that's kind of how it works. They don't tell us. It's not like they're sitting down like, well, here's what happened, da da da. you know. So even we didn't get the full explanation to it. We just got told the price has gone up. This is what it is now. That's what we're selling it for. So I don't blame Trump so much for the economy, but I know that if he was more focused here at home, we could do a little something more about it. And being 40 trillion in debt now, what we bring in to what we got to pay on the interest um, is kind of scary. You know what I mean? It's like half the GDP or more, or something like that. It's like $1 trillion just for the taxes alone. So I I think that if we can end these two wars, well, one for sure, the Iran war, the Ukraine war isn't really hurting us that much. But I'd like to see that end for humanitarian purposes because I think they've lost probably like 1 million people at this point, and Russia's probably lost like 500,000 people. And I'd like to see us honestly do business with Russia. I think they would be a good business partner. I keep an eye on them. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying rush in and we're best friends, but business wise, I think there's business to be done there. And the Ukraine war can be over and done with. That would be a plus. Plus, that would take the steam out of the EU because they want war. Um, I think it's their way of bringing in the digital ID, fully implementing it, and then fully implementing the Great Reset that they wanted. Because if you look at World War I, World War II, even the Vietnam War, it's their way of pushing these authoritarian rules onto us, unconstitutional in our country. I don't know what it is over there in Europe. I think they just do whatever the hell they want. They don't really have a constitution. If they do, I think we know that they just run that mother right over. So you might as well not even have one over there. But here we do. But they like to write these emergency powers acts, and they like to write these certain, doctrines that supersede the Constitution somehow unlawfully, but they get away with it. Surveillance bills and hold on one second. I need to clear my throat there. Um, so we all know what wars kind of do. Now I've been hearing a lot of silly talk of people thinking Trump's going to run for a third term. I don't think so. He's very old, 80 almost. By the time he gets out of office, I think it'd be like 81. My guess would be probably going to want to go just live the rest of his life out, be with his grandkids, go play golf. I mean, it's hard to say though. I mean, the man is a fighter, and like I said, there's a reason why I voted for him 3 times. I mean, he's a bad mother, man. I don't take anything away from him. I think he just got sidetracked, and I think he's very stubborn. Yeah. Oh, sorry guys. This is a little video clip I pulled up. I want you guys to watch with me here in a minute. Um, I hit the button and it started playing. Yeah, he's look. I don't know what to make of the guy sometimes, and maybe that's one of his best assets is you really don't know what to make of him. You really don't know which way this guy's going, left, right. Which way is he going to hit you from? You know, so in a way, that's like keep him guessing. That's like one of his best qualities in a way, but in another way, when we're so deep in, like yesterday, I did that show about Agenda 2030 and the route the Democrat Party and the New World Order want to take us, whatever you want to call them, the World Economic Forum, the New World Order, whatever. It's one and the same to me. They're the same players. Just they like to make these different little clubs and mix it up and kind of keep the public guessing, but it's all one and the same. Uh, we're very close to going into that. And so to keep us guessing at this point is pretty rough. You know what I mean? It's like we we need more clarity, I guess. We need more, like what is going on here. And in a way that's good for us, but it might be bad for Trump's plan. So I don't know. That's what I mean. Like it just keeps you guessing. It's so rough. It's so hard to follow. You know what I mean? And then you have all these talking heads on the internet. Everybody's out here just either they're with them 100% or they're against them. And I've never seen such a divide within our own party like this. I mean, I've always heard the neocons and neocons and neocons, and I agree with that. They need to be gotten rid of out of our party. They don't produce anything anymore. My main beef is not Donald Trump at this point, actually. I've taken focus in a different direction. My direction is at the Republican Party itself. We can look at and see the achievements Trump has done. He's won some and lost some, and then he's gained some and then fell back on them. But we got to remember it's not just him up there. There's a full Republican Party that should be backing him and should be helping him in any way that they can, and they're not. I mean, they can't even pass. Sorry, I keep hitting the mic, and I know it's reverberating through it. Um, they can't even pass the SAVE Act. They can't pass one freaking bill. It's the only bill that every other bill that they have passed has been the same old bills they would pass with or without Donald Trump there. These neutral, go along to get along bills. That's what the Republican Party's done. And so I'm not focusing on Trump so much. I want to focus on them. Their re-elections are coming up, a lot of them at least in November here. And if we keep putting the same jackasses in, well, I mean, it was said a long time ago, doing the same thing over and expecting a different outcome is the very definition of insanity. You know what I mean? And especially with the video I made yesterday, Agenda 2030, and that is coming on us. That's happening. You know, and we have a very small window to slow it down or stop it, and we really don't have the time to keep messing with these clowns. Um, what do? We got to have fresh bodies in this November. And I wish there was some way I could convince people to go out and just vote for the guy who maybe his name you'd never even heard of. I really believe if we were to put a whole new fresh set of people in that would actually help Trump and help get him on track, because they're in his ear. These old Republicans, these neocons, the old Republican establishment, they're just in his ear like, let's go along to get along. Let's just pass these little mute bills, these little minute things, the same thing that we'd pass whether you were here or not. Nobody's got any fresh ideas. They're not, and if they do, they're not saying nothing to him. They're not pushing him in any direction really. They're letting him do it all. And they're letting him fail because they're not even backing him. Who are these people? Like, we do need a complete overturn over our entire party. We need fighters. We need people who are going to stand up and actually pass bills that need to be passed and actually, because either at the end of the day, either they're trying to save America and actually keep it America, or they're just another wing of the same bird. You know what I mean? Either they're the uniparty or they're a distinct party of their own with their own ideas. And so far, recently, I'd say in the last year or better, I haven't seen the Republican Party make a single move. I haven't even heard from them until I started getting commercials on my TV. Like, I haven't even heard from these MFers. What are they doing? Who are they even? Like, who is there backing them besides like Lauren Boebert and uh, Ron, I can't, Ron DeSantis, maybe, I think. I haven't heard from any of these people. What are they doing? We, after these midterms, have a very important decision to make. And that is for us, how are we going to reframe this party? How are we going to come back in and switch it up? We're going to put these same clowns in this time around, and it's going to be go around. We're going to get smashed. I don't want to be a doomer here, but we're going to get smashed in the midterms here because the Republican Party is so weak and feckless and just, I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted, man. Like, I know the rest of you got to be disgusted too in a certain aspect. This isn't, these wins that we're getting, they're Trump's wins. They're not the Republican Party's wins because the Republican Party hasn't backed them to save their fucking lives. They've done nothing. All the Supreme Court wins was Trump sending his lawyers and his people there to fight this. And then the Republicans just taking the win off the back of Trump. So every win we've gotten, everything we've gotten has been Trump signing executive orders, which these weak ass Republicans know that the minute Trump's out of office, they'll remove those executive orders and we'll be right back where we started like it never even happened. Okay, so we got like a 4-year reprieve. What the does a 4-year reprieve do if you don't have any balls to follow up? It's just a 4-year, it's just avoiding the inevitable. That's what we're doing. We're avoiding the inevitable. If we don't shake it up, if we don't do something here, then we are allowing ourselves to fall. Because at the end of the day, it's who we vote in. It's not just them, right? It's us. We got to figure this shit out, man. And we cannot afford any more games. We are in the end game. The Democrats are playing the win. The New World Order, the World Economic Forum, the banking cartel, the Bank of England, or whoever it is, whoever these families are behind the scenes, they're playing to win. And we're playing to prolong and push forward a little bit, maybe. And then when our guy gets taken out of the office, it all goes right back to reset. We are in the midst of a great reset, economically, culturally. I mean, look at this crazy ass shit I've seen. These, have you guys seen TikTok and all these shorts of and these with that Delaney lady who supposedly, I got to say that until she gets convicted, supposedly, whatever, my opinion, I don't, whatever, however you want to put it, kill their kids, and all these women are out there. I've seen women. Let me get this straight. I don't want to say torture. What's like a lesser word for torture? Messing with their kids. I've seen that. I watched a video on TikTok of a chick taking her cup of water. She had this kid couldn't have been more than 3 or 4 months old. It's sick. It's disgusting. I don't know what to say to it. It got me so angry. I had to put my phone down and like sit there and stew for a minute because I was like, no way. She's taking a cup of water. She's holding her baby and she's doing this. And she's purposely getting this little kid upset and doing this like she's like waterboarding her kid. I don't even know. I couldn't. I don't have the heart to show the video. I was gonna save it so I could show it to you guys, but I just don't have the heart, man. Like, these women don't deserve to be mothers, man. Every single one of those women out there, that's disgusting. They should have their kids taken away, and they don't. They should be like sewn up, man. That's just my opinion, honestly. That's just straight up my opinion. It's so disgusting to see. I can't believe it. What has our country become? Culturally, we are sucked dry. We are morally inept right now. Men have been taken out of the leadership roles, and we have exchanged logic and common sense for emotion. Emotion is temporary, common sense and logic is forever. And we have exchanged that for emotional baggage bullcrap that is destroying nations. And stronger men that they're bringing in, the Muslims, the Mexicans, who all these third worlders who are coming into our country, who have their testosterone still and still have head of their household, and they don't let their women run loose on them like this. Well, guess who's going to be the ruler of your future? Because they're going to grab our women up and smack them around and tell them what's up. Because they ain't going to put up with that. I bet you if a Muslim woman killed her children like that, and satirically, I'm saying satirically, whatever my opinion, she would be dead before she got to the courthouse. They would kill her. And if any group of women, of Muslim women, went out on those streets supporting her if she did make it to the courthouse, every one of their husbands would grab them instantly, and you would watch 100 women get their asses kicked on the spot. And that's just my opinion, so whatever, I don't care. Um, you would watch them get their asses kicked. There ain't no way any group of real men allow that to happen. That poor guy, who the husband, he's been dragged through the mud. Every single one of these TikTok investigators, social media investigators. I'm just asking questions. It's just my opinion. Okay. Yeah. Well, she admitted it. She looked up on Google how to do it, and all three of her doctors, from what I understand, said she did not have postpartum depression. And even if you did, you don't have enough wherewithal in your head to stand up and tell your husband, I need to get away for a little while so I don't hurt the children and I don't do something I might regret. You don't have enough wherewithal within you to literally just walk away for a little while. And maybe even if you didn't want to be with your husband, a divorce or whatever, you didn't have enough to just look at your family and go, okay, I need to get away for a little while. I'm not right. Wow. And then somehow for these psycho ass, insane women to be out there blaming him somehow. He wasn't even there. He was sent off. She purposely sent him off so that she could do it, in my opinion, until she's proven guilty. I mean, what are we talking about? If that chick walks, I'm not kidding you, our society is doomed. If somehow that chick walks, I'm not kidding you, this society is over and it deserves the fall. If that's what we've become, then we deserve to be took out. We deserve to be weeded out because we're no longer fit for the world. And I'm not even kidding you. I wish I could say something different, but I can't. If that's what we've become, morally bankrupt that hard, then we deserve a reset, a hard reset, a new world order reset. Then maybe they're right. I don't like to say it. I don't like to say it at all, but if that's the case, then so be it. But I like to think that America is stronger and better than that, and that's not who we are as a people yet. God, I hope not. I really, really hope not. I hope we're stronger than that. I hope we're better than that. And I hope there's more to us than that. And I keep the faith because I meet a lot of men and women every day who I don't believe are like that whatsoever. You know, I work two jobs and they're both in customer like care and service. And, you know, I shake a lot of hands every day and talk to a lot of people. And I don't see that in them. You know, I don't unfortunately have a chance to talk to all of them about, you know, what is actually happening and what's going on in the world. But I like to think that there's something better inside of us all than what is happening right now. That is so disgusting. That is so disgusting. And it's okay to ask questions. It's okay to think of something else. But when she's outright admitting it, and come on, the act alone, man. I don't care. Postpartum. Can I have postpartum depression and kill three kids? Allegedly. Let me say that. Jesus God, right? You know, I don't have no money. You can sue me. I have nothing, so I don't really care. But you know, I I couldn't get away with no defense like that, and maybe not postpartum depression. That's only for women, and I'm not speaking on it like I know about it. I'm speaking on it from this aspect. If you know you're that bad in the head, and you have that much going on, you can't just have the wherewithal to look at your husband and say, "Look, I am not right. I need to get away." And maybe he could put you up in a hotel. Maybe he could just get you a little apartment somewhere for a couple months, let you get better. I mean, there's so many other avenues. Check yourself into the healthcare center. You don't have the wherewithal. You're that out of it. No, I doubt it. I just don't think so. I'm sorry. I don't believe it. You Googled it. You admitted to it. You knew what you did. You knew what you did. And then after you did it, you freaked out so bad, you tried to kill yourself because that's the right thing to do after you do that, to be quite honest. And not to be cold hearted, but that's the right thing to do after you just murdered three little babies. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You went about it in a terrible way. You're still breathing, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, that's insane. I had to get on here and say something about it because I seen so many videos yesterday of people trying to be this. Well, I'm just asking questions. I'm just an investigator. Are you? Are you? Everybody's a internet investigator now. All right. I mean, it's okay to ask questions, but and when you're sitting here, I've heard women on there literally say, she is 100% innocent. I know it. I can tell. Bah, 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 bah. I'm like, oh, yeah? You can tell, huh? You were there? You know what was going on inside of her head truly? You don't. None of us do. That's the whole thing. None of us do. That's why I'm saying if she was, and only she knows, she didn't have the wherewithal to just say, I need to get away. You had three doctors, you're getting a ton of help. Like, I don't know. Anyways, I got this little video up here. Homeland Security investigation. I'll put it on here. Boom. And let's go ahead and play it and see what they got to say. Sorry, guys. I needed to go on a little rant about that because that upset me big time. And it's super messed up. And you got these copycat women now, and you've got a lot of other people out here just insane.
International borders. This is not accidental. It is deliberate, coordinated, and criminal. DHS will relentlessly investigate, disrupt, and refer for prosecution anyone who exploits our programs. We've intensified our vetting at consular posts overseas, targeting trafficking, forced labor, document fraud, and unauthorized employment among student visa applicants. I commend our HSI agents and support staff for their unwavering commitment to defending the integrity of the student and exchange visitor program. This fraud is not victimless. It is a blatant attack on the goodwill of the American people who generously allow foreign nationals access to our education system. If you're an employer or a foreign student engaged in fraud against the United States, you are advised to return home or surrender immediately. The criminal, civil, and immigration consequences for fraud are severe and unavoidable. We will not tolerate abuse of our programs, and more actions are forthcoming. Thank you.
You know, at a certain point, it seems like when the entire system is rife with fraud at every level, everywhere you look, let's just get rid of it. Let's get rid of that whole.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. That's why I let him go ahead, because I was sure he was going to say that too. Let's just maybe not get rid of it, but let's stop it and revamp the entire system. So maybe there is a purpose to it, but let's stop it. What's wrong with stopping it completely for now? Maybe put like a 1-year moratorium on it and then revamp and re-go through the entire system. I mean, there's always going to be some sort of fraud and some sort of, something happening in that way, right? Somebody's going to abuse it. Somebody's going to misuse it. Okay. But let's revamp it and bring it back, and let's put clauses on it. If we find you immediately, and we'll be watching, if we find you abusing it in any way, you're gone. I'm sorry. And then you're disbarred from being able to use it again. That's that. You're going back to your home country. You're not welcomed here no more. And you can't ever apply for it again. Let's just put harsher stipulations. Let's revamp this system. You know what I mean? There's so much rampant abuse. So much. It's become overwhelming.
System.
Real time.
Hold on. I guess I should have went on my little rant after. But yeah, that's basically the gist of it though. Let's revamp that system. Let's rework it. Let's rework the entire
HSI identify.
I'd say let's rework the entire, program of people coming here at all. You know what I mean? I say put a 5-year moratorium, no more people coming in and out for 5 years until we have completely revamped the system and we know everybody that's in this country now and find out their intentions.
More than 10,000 foreign students linked to suspected nationwide OPT employer fraud. So this is like the college version of H-1B visas. Let's go now to clip number 27. This is the official announcement of the fraud bust about the OPT visas. Let's watch.
Information provided to DHS. Under the Biden administration, the fraud escalated even further. Today, we are announcing that we have identified over 10,000 foreign students who claim to be working for highly suspect employers. And that's just among the top 25 OPT employers. This is only the tip of the iceberg. Over the past year, we've dramatically expanded our oversight of OPT and can report that we've found fraud nationwide. HSI agents have visited problematic OPT employer work sites in Virginia, Texas, Georgia, Illinois, New York, New Jersey, North Carolina, and Florida. Many of these employers include NGOs engaged in suspicious activity. We've discovered empty buildings and locked doors at addresses where hundreds of foreign students are allegedly employed. In many cases, multiple OPT employers claim to operate from the same address, but none actually lease the facility. We found small residential addresses listed as work sites for hundreds of foreign students, yet no employees were present. When someone does answer the door, their statements are inconsistent or they claim no knowledge of the business. We're also seeing financial red flags. Many alleged employers display clear fraud indicators, including tax liens, civil lawsuits, collections, and breaches of contract. And we are seeing suspicious financial transactions moving cash across multiple.
Sorry to stop that right in the mid there, but do we know, does this stem from the Nick Shirley investigations? That kid, I want to give that kid props, man. He's got balls. First off. Secondly, he has uncovered, I think, a couple $2 billion in fraud. I wonder if this stems from that, because it wasn't until he went and did that they really started coming out against it like this. So kudos to Nick Shirley if it is. I don't know 100%, but if this stems from his investigations, kudos to that young man, because he's done more investigative journalism in the last year than Fox, CNN, and NBC, MSNBC, and all of them combined. I mean, wow. I wonder if it does. I'm gonna see if I can find out.
Countries. We've discovered that numerous businesses fail to maintain basic employment records for the foreign students, raising serious tax reporting concerns. Some employers claim to have offshore human resources and payroll personnel. And finally, we're finding what we call phantom employees. We've identified foreign students who obtained work authorization documents through OPT, but never showed up for work at the sites they claimed. While we can't share details of ongoing investigations, I can assure you that more information is forthcoming and that we are taking this fraud very seriously. With that, I'll turn it over to the Acting Executive Associate Director for HSI, Mr. John Condon, who can speak in greater detail. John.
Thank you, Director Lyons. Last week, HSI investigators and compliance officials conducted site visits at 18 OPT work sites in North Texas. Our findings were alarming. We discovered coordinated employer clusters where numerous employers in the same building complex are running nearly identical websites, sharing job postings and management personnel, but claiming no business relationships with each other. We found shell company schemes where multiple OPT employers are established by the same owner-operator, indicating a deliberate scheme to structure income and evade taxes. We have encountered employers who claim only a handful of OPT employees, despite our records showing that hundreds of students claim to work there. To give you an example, one employer we visited claimed to employ only 3 foreign students through OPT, while our records show over 500 foreign students claiming to work there.
Wow. Sorry, stopped midway, but that's crazy. 500, but only actually 3? That's a huge amount of fraud. That's not just like, well, 10 or, so and da-da-da. That's, hundreds. And how many hundreds more? What? Shut it down. Shut the program down for now, and let's revisit it later once we've revamped the entire system. From top to bottom to top, whatever way you got to do it. This has got to quit. No, come on, man. Are we even a country anymore? Seriously. No other country, I gotta believe no other country would allow this to happen. If you went to China and tried this, they'd catch your ass and put you in prison. You probably wouldn't even make it home.
The company's representatives were unable to answer basic questions about the business and deferred HR managers in India. OPT employers are required to directly train foreign students, but we've seen multiple examples of alleged employers claiming that all management is overseas in India. We've also discovered multiple state networks which are large networks of alleged employers claiming to train thousands of foreign students in OPT and farming them out to unreported third-party employers, making oversight nearly impossible and raising serious national security issues. And we found potential evidence of international financial fraud. Our investigators have discovered questionable financial networks crossing multiple countries involving numerous bank accounts and complex transactions. These cases aren't limited by geography. In Houston, we found an alleged OPT employer accused of pay-to-stay visa fraud who was charging students under the table to help them fraudulently maintain visa status. The phony employer had never operated from the listed address, and over 100 foreign students allegedly employed there were nowhere to be found. In Georgia, we found an alleged IT company's address was nothing but a P.O. box. The owner operated a second related company across the street, also allegedly employing dozens of foreign students. The location was empty. One of the company's websites was flagged by DHS firewalls as potential malware, a common marker of fraudulent OPT employers. In New Jersey, we discovered an OPT employer who claimed to employ over 150 foreign students but couldn't answer basic questions about who they were or what they were hired to do.
I'm sorry. You hired 100, but I have no clue what they work for me, but I have no clue what they do. No clue. Oh, Lord. Lord help me. This is absolutely insane. This is too much. What are we doing? Sorry, here.
We only encountered one of these students who revealed he had not worked for the listed company in over a year. He was instead being trained by a company based in India. And in a New York condo allegedly housing dozens of foreign students, a supposed employer became visibly upset and denied any knowledge of the company, despite DHS records and student reports confirming otherwise. A foreign student confirmed the individual was the owner, but could not explain his denial. HSI will continue to investigate these cases, among several others. Director Lyons.
Thank you, John. Let me be clear. Foreign students themselves are entering false addresses and employer names into the student and exchange visitor information system. But we are uncovering evidence of organized fraud that spans national and international borders. This is not accidental. It is deliberate, coordinated, and criminal. DHS will relentlessly investigate, disrupt, and refer for prosecution anyone who exploits our programs. We've intensified our vetting at consular posts overseas.
This is Trump refocusing back at home. That's what this, he got on these people. He said something because this should have been happening the whole time. But I'm grateful that it's happening now. Don't get me wrong. I am definitely grateful that it's happening now and that we're finally taking some action, because even if it's a day late, dollar short, it's still action being taken, and we still do have the time. He's still got 2 years. So if this is an ongoing thing that's going to keep going, there is time to fix it. You know what I mean? But I'm just glad we're enacting now, because wow, this is so much fraud. This is so crazy. I just feel like if I went to somebody else's country and did the same stuff, there's absolutely no way I'd be in jail or so. I can't imagine.
Targeting trafficking, forced labor, document fraud, and unauthorized employment among student visa applicants. I commend our HSI agents and support staff for their unwavering commitment to defending the integrity of the student and exchange visitor program. This fraud is not victimless. It is a blatant attack on the goodwill of the American people who generously allow foreign nationals access to our education system. If you're an employer or a foreign student engaged in fraud against the United States, you are advised to return home or surrender immediately.
Yeah.
The criminal, civil, and immigration consequences for fraud are severe and unavoidable. We will not tolerate abuse of our programs, and more actions are forthcoming. Thank you.
Thank you.
At a certain point, it seems like when the entire system is rife with fraud at every level, everywhere you look, let's just get rid of it.
Yeah.
Let's get rid of that whole system.
Let's just shut it down.
What is the upside? The upside is a bunch of foreigners get to benefit from coming over here and working, not actually, or going to school. Not actually really a benefit for America. The only way you could possibly claim it would be a benefit for America was, for one thing, you're attracting talent, which not really necessary. Not when you have so many people here in America who are being deliberately excluded from paths that lead to careers and prosperity. So I don't even, first of all, care about that or think it's a valid excuse. The only people that really benefit, or it's the universities themselves who get the money from the foreign students, but is that who we want to be supporting? The university system that has been the engine of all of the terrible ideas that are tearing us apart at every pass? It's like when Trump was saying, if we don't have these 600,000 Chinese students, then the universities will fail. It's like, you're good. No, that's good. They should fail. They are bad and they should fail. Like, that's not a bad thing. So, okay. In the sort of pro and con categories, the pros are we keep the leftist communist university system well supplied with foreigners. Not even sure that's a pro. But on the con side, clearly massive amounts of fraud. And also all of the things that I said about the pro side, because those are actually cons. Actually keeping American universities funded with foreign money so they could keep indoctrinating our children with propaganda. Not actually a great thing. Bringing in a bunch of foreigners to our country to take spots in our university, also not a good thing. The fraud that comes along with it, not a good thing. The whole thing is bad. So let's just get rid of the whole damn thing.
I started having seizures like a few years ago, and everybody in my family knows I'm a neuroscientist. What did you do to fix it?
Yeah, the amount of fraud within that system. How, when you bring people in like that, aren't we supposed to benefit from it too? A little something, like maybe this could be a potential doctor, lawyer, worker of some sort for us that's going to, eventually give back into the system. Or, even if we're doing it to help them out to go back to their country, okay. But when you're doing it through fraud and you're doing it the way you're doing it, you're not helping yourself, you're not helping us, you're just creating more problems. So if the net benefit is a minus, we got to put police, homeland security, all this other stuff on you to make sure you're following the rules and doing it properly. Well, now we're at a net, a net negative. We're at a negative. We're not benefiting at all. You're not benefiting at all. Nobody's benefiting. And what are you actually here for then? If you had to come here illegally and you had to falsify information and lie to get in, what is your real reason for being here? Nobody benefits from that. And it just has
Rest
to
in
stop.
a beautiful.
We cannot keep going through it. We just can't. It's so crazy. It's so rampant. Just shut it down. I put a 1-year moratorium on it. Shut it down. Revamp the entire system. Anybody who's here on it completely, through that year, work through their student visas, work through everything you can, and get the fraudulent ones out of here. Let the good people stay. They earned it. They did right. I'm not saying get rid of everybody because I don't think that's fair to the good people who actually did it right. But definitely shut it down because you don't need more fraud. Because it's like the minute you get rid of 10 fraud cases, 20 more just popped up because you still have it open and wide open, really, for everybody to just run in and still keep doing the same thing over and over again. Let's see what's this. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Hold on, we got something here. Trump announces Strait of Hormuz completely demined as White House may be seeking an exit strategy. Whoa, man. Look, and I know we've heard this a bunch of times, but having it demined, first off, that's great. That means shipping's going through. And Trump looking for an exit plan. That, and then also on top of that, trying to shut down the Ukraine war. You don't send the head of the CIA to meet with Putin or meet with whoever he's meeting unless you're trying to negotiate some sort of ceasefire, is my guess. So we're getting back on track here, guys. Trump he's actually all right. I'm keeping the faith here. It's easy to turn, and go, nah. But sometimes you just got to keep the faith and keep going. Now, I'm going to call him out where I feel he's wrong, and I'm going to say what I need to say. But if this keeps up, we might have our president back. He might be trying to do something here. Maybe what Tim Pool said, and I'm going to give him credit, even though I thought it, not before him, I can't say that, but I thought that. I wasn't live saying it, so I have no proof. I might have said it in a tweet, like I said, but maybe Trump has had a plan this whole time, and it's been hard to see because he can't come out and say it, because if he says his plan, obviously, then they can come up with a way around it. He did sign a crypto bill the other day. I couldn't find anything on it. I was trying to look for it. That's what I was doing while that was playing. He did sign a crypto bill acknowledging Bitcoin, and it's a little scary though, because in there it's the same thing they did in 1933 with the gold standard, with the gold, I think he left it open to where if the government needed to take people's Bitcoin, which is scary because I don't know how that's legal because Bitcoin is not owned by the US government. It's not owned by any government. So you could sign a crypto bill stating we accept it as a currency, we accept it as, a sort of exchange of some sort, and, we just accept it basically. But to sign it in and then say the government has the right to take it from you, the whole point of cryptocurrency was so we could have a way around any kind of collapse or reset or anything like that. We would have our own currency. So it's good and bad if I read it properly. You may want to check it out for yourself. You can probably Google it. But he did sign something the other day, and if you notice, I think Bitcoin's gone up to $80 a coin right now. So Bitcoin made a huge jump. I got a excerpt the other day. Do I follow Coinbase on here? Usually I get a little something from Coinbase. Well, we'll find it. I'll figure it out. Okay.
Poland and the Lithuania to provoke Russian response.
I'll find
because
it.
They know pretty well any attack on this enclave will be met with this severe, severe resistance and severe attacks from Russian side.
Real time, uncensored, unstoppable.
Alex Jones. I love this dude, man. He lets you use his videos, which is nice. And, he even says you can have full right to chop it up and use it however you like.
Trying to flood the Ukraine with their missile, which they call Flamingo, which is a British missile, FN5 or FN9, which is quite of the cruise missile, pretty dangerous with a big warhead.
Okay, just to pause that for a moment. Bitcoin is up to 78,000. So that's dope, and it's still kind of going up right now. It's a very small percentage, only up 0.7% right now, but that's better than where it was. I think the other day it was all the way down to 60 some thousand. So Bitcoin, for all you Bitcoiners out there, all you crypto maniacs, all the crypto's kind of gone up. XRP. We're going to have a full crypto session here one of these days because I've been hearing some crazy rumors about XRP. Now, I can't confirm them, but I heard through the grapevine they may be using it for, a little something. And that might be a good thing to get on. It's down right now. It's like $1.20, $1.30, something like that. So we'll talk about it later. Let's hear this for now.
And they're trying to overwhelm capital of Moscow air defense and strike some targets in center of Moscow. So far, for the past several years, Moscow hold air defense one of the best in the world. We never see any significant or any serious damage done to Moscow capital. And this eventually, they try to use this kind of scenario to sabotage the peace deal. Think of this, if Ukrainian, without having permission from the Trump administration, launch this attack, and Russia will answer, and this time this definitely would be not only Ukraine who are going to receive the, revenge response, definitely will screw up all these peace deals. Another scenario, what I think also dangerous, that the European thinking, including the British, how they going to start a false flag attack on the Kaliningrad enclave of Russia, sandwiched between the Poland and the Lithuania, to provoke Russian response. Because they know pretty well any attack on this enclave will be met with this severe, severe resistance and severe attacks from Russian side. So there is ample room for them to sabotage it. And I guess now there is a job of the Trump administration to prevent any attempt of sabotage from Europeans.
The info war is not gone.
Yeah, I would say Trump should say this immediately. Any sabotaging of this peace deal or of this deal, whatever it is, and he should put his foot down hard. We will no longer work with you. I mean, like he should make it very harsh. It's what he should have did with Netanyahu. I believe it's definitely something he should have did with Benjamin Netanyahu. Um, Trump needs to put his foot down. If he's really trying to go for a peace deal here and he's trying to actually accomplish something, sabotage obviously is, well, it's in the word sabotage. So he should definitely put his foot down and say any sabotaging from, I'm saying from any world leader, not just Ukraine, not, like I would say the EU, Poland, Russia, or not Russia, Poland. Well, I don't think Poland's trying to get involved. I would say Europe mainly. I think Europe is the one mainly pushing this. I don't even think Ukraine wants this as bad as Europe does. That's because the globalists have wanted to break Russia up into what they call 6 satellite states. They would that, and that's their plan. That's always been their plan, and that's why they've always kept Russia as the boogeyman, because the natural resources that Russia holds and all the things they have is so significant that if they could get their hands on Russia, boy, they'd be set. They could up their GDP. They could add trillions and trillions of dollars onto the back markets and all. I mean, it'd be insane. It'd be insane. But I want Russia to hold because I don't want them to fall and give these world order globalists. I don't want them to have this stuff. I just don't. Yeah, I hope they hold, and I hope they don't allow it.
Being a coup, that didn't happen. So with the EU and
Okay, hold on. Let's listen to this. This guy is real intelligent. This guy is close to Putin. He, he has the ear of top intelligence in his country. He was in Kiev the other night, and he was doing not the other night. I think it was like a week ago or so. He was doing an interview with Alex, and he was being bombed while he was being interviewed. And he didn't say nothing to Alex. He just let the bombing happen, and then kept going on with the interview. Like that's fucking gangster. I don't care who you are. That's crazy. I'm not gonna lie. If I'm getting shelled right now, I'm not live on this internet, bro. I don't know what to tell y'all, man. I got heart, okay, but I don't know, man. If I'm being shelled, I'm probably dipping, like this dude's being shelled and he's just standing there through the storm.
so much financial demographic trouble, what are they going to do now when this was their only move?
Well, the only common sense move is to admit, well, this was a failure and try to come and have a settlement. How are we going to live in the same continent in Europe? Because we're sharing geography. You can't change the geography. Whether they want to all-out war, but history shows that all-out war with Russia always ends with a complete disaster for Europeans. Yes, it will also have a cost for us, but we know how to do it and how our grandfathers did it 80 years ago. We can always repeat it. So if not, well, we would be ready, and we will not fight with them conventional war. Everybody understand it, and now this is to these elites who either completely, stunned with whatever drug they are on, or they completely idiots. But they're definitely acting as a spare of the globalists to start this all-out war with Russia. And this is what surprised me.
Real time.
Well, that's because, and I kind of know why, in a way, that they are trying to go and talk to Putin right now. Putin amassed a 1 million man army. So he's done playing games. He's not having it anymore. You know what I mean? Like he's done. He's done playing games, and I don't blame him, man. I mean, when you got drones attacking your major cities, Moscow, you know, all the other, like people at the beach. I heard they were at the beach and a drone hit. I mean, oh man, dude, I'm pissed. And I think he was going to march their asses right into Kiev and just take it. And if he does that, that's it. That's Russia now. That's no longer Ukraine. So the globalists would lose so much because Ukraine is very rich soil. Lots of things come out of there, lithium and a lot of other things, from my understanding, that these people really want and need, obviously. So I think Trump recognized that what was going on, and now he says it's time to stop this before it gets completely taken by Russia and all those goodies are cut off. Oh, hold on. Let's do that, and let's do this.
You got one!
Well, look, there is several factors we have to consider and analyze very carefully. First of all, from military sense of view, Ukraine had already lost it. Why? First of all, they can't produce themselves any weapons at all. Everything was destroyed, and they heavily rely on the European supply because America are not supplying them for free like it used to be under Biden administration. Yes, they're still providing them the intelligence data, and still Elon Musk Starlink are key bone of Ukrainian military operation. But as we know, Trump decided, well, if European wants to buy the arm, they can do whatever they want to them. Still, Trump has a leverage to stop this war quicker. This is from a military point of view. And now, again, the question, if you're really thinking about future of the country, like President Zelensky must be in this position thinking before he goes to bed, to sleep every night, he need to realize it's not too late to really has a peace deal, not the surrender agreement, not the capitulation. From economic point of view, Ukraine left several months before the winter kicks in, and there is no anymore heating, no enough electricity. How the country with at least 20 million population will survive, will pass the winter? Impossible. Especially when the Black Sea ports are blocked, there is no supply of fuel, there is no supply of weapons, and there is no export with the grain or iron ore going out of Ukraine, and the iron, which would give a huge, revenue for the Ukrainian budget. So this game is over. So what he gonna do? Will Europeans take money, and they don't have any? And they depend whether the Trump or the big boy with the checkbook will sign them the check for what they want to supply to Ukraine. And we know the position since the Trump, it's another signal, Trump do not send anybody of official level to Kiev for this Independence Day celebration.
Yeah, ever since, sorry to stop it there, guys, if you were into it. Ever since Lindsey Graham passed, who has been the Ukrainian delegate? Who has been the person going over there and doing anything with them? It hasn't, nobody. That's stopped. And that's good, because we need this stupid little war to end. We need this to end, and we need Iran to end, so we can focus back here at home. Enough of this. That Ukraine war, how long's that been going on now? 4 years or something? That's insane. It's it's just got to stop. And then Trump, I think he's tired of it, and we need to refocus back here at home, and that's what it is.
Only the retired Kellogg, ex-rep Ukrainian, so this is a time about to mobilize the women for the war effort. What you make out of this was clearly designed, and I was puzzled. strange. The Americans decided not to send no one, not even usual senators or some other idiots there to show up, the warmongers. Well, it's a good sign. Let's see what's happened. And sure enough, we see this delegation come. I think when the dust settles and eventually these kind of negotiations require kind of the quiet and calm scenario. These kind of the diplomacy are not made with a megaphone, situation when everybody gonna leak. So let's have a little bit patient, and within certain time we will know the details. But most important for us, not to know the details, but to see practical side from American, side that they are really meaning business, that they really has a control over the Zelensky behavior and really can force him for the negotiations. Otherwise, we discuss with you, looks like Zelensky had some dirt, not only on Europeans, but on many American officials, and maybe including on Trump himself, and blackmail him into continue the support, or blackmail him to do what the Zelensky wants.
I'm not sure it was blackmail on Trump as much as BlackRock and a couple other billionaire companies from over here. And I even heard Bill Gates too, possibly. They have put money into buying land over there, and they have interests over there. So maybe Trump was initially just looking out for their interests. Maybe they kept going to Trump saying, just let that go. You don't have to be involved, but just let them fight. And we'll handle it through the European Union type of deal. Because I don't think Zelensky had anything on Trump. I really don't. Because why would Trump has changed his mind, and look what he did to Zelensky in the White House that one time. He told him, without us, you'd be nothing. I mean, if somebody's got you by the balls, you don't talk to them that way, because you never know out of anger what that person might go release or call you later like, hey, you know what you said, you know what I got, you watch your mouth. You know what I mean? You never know. You don't want that. So my guess is he doesn't have anything on Trump. It's all out of interest. Weaken Russia, take over Ukraine, buy it out through corporations. And now corporations are so heavily invested that they're going to Trump. And these are, like I said, BlackRock, these are big corporations. Bill Gates' corporation and other people have vested interests. So they're just telling Trump, hey, you don't even have to be involved really. Just let them handle it, but supply Europe, and they're probably helping Europe in some way with the money, because that land and the minerals and the growing ability over there and all the other stuff is worth billions, maybe even $1 trillion, maybe more than that. I don't know, but I know it's worth a lot of money. I know they have some of the richest soil in the world. Ukraine has virtually no laws, or you can bribe politicians over there to do whatever you want them to do. So for $1 billion corporation, that's a playground. That you got to understand that is like a heavenly playground to these people. They can go over there and do their little experiments, whatever that is. Bill Gates with his vaccines, because I heard that there's like 7 different of those facilities over there. We were protecting those too, and that's another reason why we got involved. Plus, the major corporations have so much money vested in this. That's a good enough reason to get Trump at least to just kind of sit on the sidelines. But my guess is he's getting tired of it, and he sees this going nowhere. And when you also see Putin manifesting 1 million men to walk probably right into Ukraine, BlackRock and them, you're going to lose it all. So Trump probably just stepped in and said, let's negotiate a peace deal. At least we can keep Ukraine, or at least a good chunk of it, give the Russians what the hell they want, end this, and let's start making money back. Because you got to imagine it's been a 4-year, multi-billion-dollar, maybe $1 trillion loss. I mean, I don't know about $1 trillion, but it's been a lot of billions, a lot of zeros. So maybe they're starting to calculate their plus and minus here and going, well, we've nothing but lost for the last 4 years. And the people who make the missiles and all that stuff, sure. And I'm sure BlackRock and all them have a stake in that. But at this point, given that they haven't made no money off the land, they haven't got a chance to go over there and build anything and actually start recouping the other money, they're probably looking at it very differently now. I don't think it's anything. Like I said, I don't think Zelensky had anything. He's a puppet. What could he have? You're a puppet. He's a puppet. They got him on a little string. They're like, you do what I want, dance, puppet, dance. I mean, for God's sakes, the guy was an actor and a comedian. He wasn't a big player in the game, as far as I knew. So
Paramount hits back at left.
That's why I don't think that he had anything on Trump or anybody else. So I think that statement to me is kind of like, we're not analyzing the real situation.
FD actor Mark Ruffalo over unhinged anti-Semitic rant against Warner Bros. Merger. Paramount clapped back. Don't you love when corporations are sassy TikTok chicks? Paramount clapped back at Hollywood actor Mark Ruffalo and accused him of invoking anti-Semitic tropes in an unhinged rant where he raged against the company's proposed Warner Brothers merger. So here's the actual tweet. And last time I checked, yesterday, it had 850,000 likes.
Holy shit.
I've never seen anything like that.
Wow.
I have never seen a post with 850,000 likes. 100,000 likes is almost unheard of.
Well,
so clearly what
maybe.
Mark Ruffalo was saying is fairly popular. So let's take a look. The accusation that I'm anti-Semitic is appalling and fundamentally dishonest. Criticizing the actions of the Israeli prime minister, a military contract, or the executives who supply it is not the same as criticizing Jewish people. Not according to the IHRA. Actually, according to the definition of anti-Semitism adopted by our federal government and increasingly by state and local governments, like San Diego and California, which just passed a resolution adopting the IHRA and saying that it's anti-Semitic and therefore hate speech to criticize Benjamin Netanyahu. So, I mean, is it or not? Is criticizing, Jewish people doing things, is that criticizing all Jews? If it is, then, what does that say about how we handle the problem of, foreign subversion in our government? If that's not what it means, then why is everybody saying it is? Why is everybody saying it's anti-Semitic if you're just criticizing this country? But Mark Ruffalo goes a little off the rails here. He says the critical and necessary dialogue is when is then dishonestly framed as being anti-Israel. To be clear, my views come from my own political convictions and should never be interpreted as hostility towards Jewish people for whom I have deep love and respect. Okay, but are you pro-Israel? Like he's like, that part I don't understand.
No, he's not pro-Israel. I was reading a little further ahead. He's not pro-Israel. He's just saying, I don't hate Jewish people because of what the state of Israel's doing. And same here. Like, just because, let's say I get on here and I would criticize them or say something, I'm not since when are you criticizing an entire race because you're calling out somebody's government? When you call out of the American government, are you criticizing the entirety of America? Are you saying every citizen there is exactly that? No. Because we all know that governments do whatever they want to do. They don't care what we think. Not a government on this planet cares what they go to war all the time. They do this stuff all the time. We can't stop them. I mean, sure, in America, it might be a little easier to stop our government if we get out and complain enough. But as you can see with the Iran thing, I'd say 70% of America feels the same way about it, at least that it's just a useless war and it doesn't benefit us at all. And there was no point of us really being involved. But I'm not criticizing my own fellow people, like the people I work with and, like all you guys out here on the internet, even if you do believe that, for some reason it was a good idea, I'm not criticizing you. I'm still just criticizing the powers that be that are doing the action. So I kind of disagree with him that you can be anti Netanyahu, but still like Jewish people. Like, I don't hate all Jewish people because of what's happening there. I don't like their government. Their government is making some really seriously bad moves.
Critical and necessary dialogue is then dishonestly framed as being anti-Israel. It's okay to be anti-Israel. Why is everybody so scared all the time? You can be anti-Israel. That's fine.
Yeah, you can be anti-Israel. You just, you're not saying you hate all the Jewish people by saying you're anti-Israel. That's that little caveat they like to put on there,
Fine. Why would you not be anti-Israel? It's like, what? He's like against Israel's president and against what they're doing and against their influence in America and against the genocide they're carrying out. But he wants you to know he's not anti-Israel, which makes this whole thing incomprehensible and retarded, but it's fine. To be clear, my views come from my own political convictions and should never be interpreted as hostility towards Jewish people for whom I have a deep love and respect. Everything I know about acting, activism, and humanism has been profoundly shaped by the Jewish friends, colleagues, and loved ones who have been integral and family throughout every point in my life. The merger has real consequences for real people, for the entire country. Scrutinizing the Ellisons, including Oracle's business built on data, surveillance technology, and government contracts, and the serious threat of editorial freedom and the loss of a livelihood for thousands of families is fair and necessary. The $111 billion deal would hand one family control over CNN, HBO, and Warner Brothers, backed in part by foreign money whose influence on editorial decisions has never been fully explained to the public. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle have called for serious national security review, and regulators still haven't given the public a real answer. Until they do, the merger should not move forward. Now is the time to dive boldly into all these issues, not step back or concede. Well, you did kind of step back and concede at the beginning of this, but that's fine. You're scared. You're a scared little boy. That's okay. You don't really.
I think he was clarifying his position. I don't feel like he was scared for simply saying, and I think that was just his way of saying, yeah, I am against Israel as in their government, but I'm not against the Israeli people. You know what I mean? So, I get it though. You don't like them. But I see it for what it is. I think that he's saying, look, I don't hate the people, but I don't like your government. They suck. And they do. I'm sorry. If you guys agree with what they're doing over there, that's up to you. That doesn't change my mind on it. I don't agree. I think it's a genocide. I think they've killed well over 100 and some thousand people and a lot of innocent people. And it's very sad. But there's nothing I can do about it. But I would say I disagree. I disagree with their actions.
Really understand what's actually going on here, and you're scared to actually name the problem for what it is. That's fine. People like me are here to do what you are too stupid or cowardly to do yourself. See, what are you talking about, Mark Ruffalo? I really want to know, what is your issue? Because if it's not the fact that they're Jewish, it's the fact that they're Israeli aligned, but you're not anti-Israel.
Oh, what the heck?
Anti-Semitic rant against Warner Bros. Merger.
I hit enter.
Paramount clapped back. Don't you love when?
Oh, wait.
Don't you love when corporations or editors still haven't given the public? What are you talking about? Jewish. It's the fact that they're Israeli aligned, but you're not anti-Israel, and actually everything you believe was formulated first and foremost by a Jewish mindset. I just don't really understand. I just don't really get where why he's upset. Because see, I am approaching this from, my opinion, a fairly principled stance, which is I don't trust the government. I don't trust the intelligence community. I think a Jewish Zionist mafia has taken control of not only huge sectors of our federal government, but obviously is systematically consolidating their control over every media outlet, including TikTok, including every TV station and news station, including AI. And I'm against that from a nationalistic point of view, as well as a moral and religious point of view. What does he have against David and Larry Ellison? Like, is Mark Ruffalo against all the stuff that they're for? Because I think he's probably deeply in favor of most of the stuff that they're for. This is where it gets like really nonsensical. It's the same thing with like Larry Fink and BlackRock. Like, if you talk to a leftist, they say they hate BlackRock. But BlackRock is the engine that created and drove their entire movement. So how can they hate BlackRock? You hate BlackRock, and yet BlackRock is the one that created ESG scores, that created the financial system that forces companies to accept DEI, that deliberately kept out white Christian men from your industry, which is why your industry is now failing. And they're the ones stopping your industry from actually failing by pumping it full of fraudulent money so that you can keep making movies that nobody wants to watch and keep making streaming shows that nobody subscribes for. And for some reason, the money just keeps rolling in. It's because BlackRock and Larry Fink is literally your daddy, that he is your godfather. He is your mind. He is your puppet master manipulating you every step of the way. He is the source of your every belief, and yet you think you hate him. And yet you think you oppose him. You think you oppose David and Larry Ellison because of Israel, but do you oppose the spying on the American people? And if so, under what moral framework are you operating? Because you were in favor of like destroying people's lives for not taking a COVID mask, for not wearing a COVID mask or taking the COVID vaccine.
No, that's true. That's legitimate. That's legit. But it's okay for him to have these legitimate beefs with him. But it's okay for Mark Ruffalo to call out what he feels is bad too. Maybe he's waking up. Maybe he is seeing what's happening and he doesn't like it.
Provided to Israel following the Hamas-led October 7th attack. We played that video.
All right, guys. We're going to do a little tribute to Dolly Parton here. Just a little. I didn't know she passed today. So.
Hello, and thanks for joining us. Shock across the country over the death of American icon Dolly Parton. The legendary singer had been battling health problems in recent years. She passed away this morning in a Nashville hospital after being admitted 4 days ago with kidney and autoimmune issues. Stephen Fabian has more on what we've learned about Dolly's final days.
9 to 5. It's the news shocking the world.
Dolly Parton has passed away.
Country music has no bigger or more beloved star.
Jolene, Jolene. Country music legend Dolly Parton dead at age 80. Her nephew, Brian Seaver, made the heartbreaking announcement on social media,
announcing the passing of my Aunt Dolly, Rebecca Parton Dean. This video announcement is something Dolly asked of me years ago, before I fully absorbed it as a future reality.
Dolly's last public appearance took place 2 months ago when she surprised fans at the grand opening of her truck stop in Tennessee.
1, 2, 3.
Her health struggles got a lot of attention. Last year, she took to social media to calm worried fans.
Everybody thinks that I am sicker than I am. Do I look sick to you?
The legendary singer shared this video. The caption, "I ain't dead yet."
I wanted you to know that I'm not dying.
Our Megan Alexander lives in Nashville.
Today in Nashville, you would have thought the Queen of England had died. That is the impact that Dolly Parton had on this.
Wow. A legend. An absolute legend.
Community and the world.
Last year was difficult for Dolly. In March, her husband, Carl Dean, of nearly 60 years, died. And on September 17th, she canceled an appearance at Dollywood due to an infection from a kidney stone. And earlier this month, Dolly opened up about her health issues wearing angel wings.
But I've had a few little health issues, and sometimes I get a little dizzy, and I get dehydrated.
Just 4 days ago, Dolly shared an update on her health battles and even suggested that she may continue entertaining fans using an avatar performing her greatest hits. She joked, "I won't have to show up, but I still get paid." What she didn't reveal was that she had just been admitted to Vanderbilt University Medical Center in Nashville.
We really know as much as Dolly has told us. She said she had some breathing problems. She had to rest. She was exhausted. She was tired. That was the extent of it. She always said she was being treated by her doctors. And she said, you know, she'll be back up and running when she's ready. So everyone expected the rebound.
Wow. Well, RIP to a real legend. You will be missed. I remember hearing your music through my mom and my stepdad when we would drive around when I was a kid. Man, I guess I'm at that age, man, where all the legends are starting to go away. You know what I mean? It's kind of crazy. But that's the way of the world, right? We all go one day and there's nothing we can do about it. So RIP, Dolly Parton. You will be missed, but you're getting to see the creator. So leaving one realm for another. Rest your soul. All right, guys. I'm going to call it there. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for watching. Please hit that like. Please hit that sub. You can follow me on multiple different platforms. YouTube at Distorted Perception. Sundown Entertainment here over on Rumble. And at Sundown over on X, or it's at KJ1116. I got a blue check mark. You'll see me. My ugly face is right in the little circle. So thank you guys so much for coming in. I appreciate you. Please come back tomorrow and join us for episode 22. God only knows what we'll be talking about then. Till then, keep your head up and pray for better days. Peace out, guys. Have a good night. And I will see you tomorrow. I'm going to leave you with this.
There's nothing special about being American. None of you can define for me what an American is.
I am the nation. I was born on July 4th, 1776, and the Declaration of Independence is my birth certificate. The bloodlines of the world run in my veins because I offered freedom to the oppressed. I am many things and many people. I am the nation. I am 200 million living souls and the ghost of millions who have lived and died for me. I am Nathan Hale and Paul Revere. I stood at Lexington and fired the shot heard round the world. I'm Washington, Jefferson, Patrick Henry. I'm John Paul Jones, the Green Mountain Boys, Davy Crockett. I'm Lee,